The U.S. declaring victory as a two-week truce has been reached in the Iran war. Joining us now is Sami'y, national security and Middle East analyst. So good afternoon, Cheyenne. Can I just ask you, so the U.S. and Iran has agreed to a two-week pause. What comes next?
Hi, Don. Thanks for having me. Well, what comes next is ambiguity, because right now it is quite evident that the 10-point plan or proposal that the Islamic regime has sent out is not in sync with the U.S. 15-point plan. One of the major aspects is that the Iranian side is asking the U.S. to guarantee a non-aggression, Iran to maintain control over the Strait of Hormuz, Iran's right to enrich uranium, and in the Farsi text that they published is they are advocating for acceptance of Iran's right to enrich. And then lifting of all primary and secondary sanctions, termination of all UN Security Council resolutions against Iran, cancellation of IAEA resolutions, compensation for war damage, withdrawal of US military, end to attacks on Iran's allies, especially in Lebanon, and a UN Security Council resolution making any deal binding. None of that is acceptable to the US government or the Israeli government, for that matter. Now, the world leaders that you were showing a while back and that they were celebrating this so-called ceasefire, well, of course, they're only concerned about the Strait of Hormuz and their ability to have oil and their goods going and coming. They're not worried about the people of Iran, and they're not concerned about the aftermath of this regime staying in power and then being able to kill at will, as they have done. They have, even in the lead up to the ceasefire, they executed 18-year-old, 19-year-olds, and there's a 20-year-old female that they're going to execute. So the biggest benefactor of this ceasefire has been the government of China, that will receive their cheap oil from the Islamic Republic, and the Europeans, who decided to stay this one out.
Okay, so you're saying that this ceasefire likely won't lead to any durable peace, and that it's only a means for Iran to buy time. Is that what you're saying?
I'm afraid, yes, that's exactly what it is. Because first and foremost, this ceasefire is slated for a 2-week period, but I don't even foresee that it will last for 72 hours. Why? Because the Islamic Republic has already started attacking the neighboring countries. They have lobbed missiles against Kuwait, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, and they have also been lobbing missiles toward Israel. So they are doing what they want to do. They just want to buy time to basically regroup. I understand the United States government also wants to refocus, recalibrate, and get ready for the next phase. But I think the mere fact of talking about a 10-point plan versus a 15-point plan, that none of them are in sync and none of them jive well with what the U.S. government has stated, goes forward. And on top of all of that, this ceasefire does not take into action human rights violations in Iran against the people, the innocent people of Iran. And that is something that the world leaders must pay attention to. And unfortunately, it's not on their agenda right now.
So to your point then, how do we get rid of the government entirely? How do we do that, top to bottom, left to right?
The best way to do it is to, number one, continue the targeted attacks against the leadership, the top tier leadership, and eliminate them one by one. Continue to control the methods of economic viability for the regime, which is controlling the Kharg Island in the west and basically the oil terminals there, and then also controlling the islands that lead to the Strait of Hormuz, namely the Qeshm, Larak, and Abu Musa islands, so that you can control the Strait of Hormuz and not anybody can come and circumnavigate your presence there. And then the United States can also move into the areas of air defense systems that the Islamic Republic has been hiding in the southern region of the country, and then also to have a plan to remove the enriched uranium from the Iranian soil. That way, the Iranian government will not have any means of political survival, military survival, or economic survival. That would be the end, and that would basically lead them to a surrender.